Welcome, my name is Markine, and you know what I'm all about. I'm about getting the masculinity back, lean muscular bodies and taking life on. If you've watched my podcast with Dr. Ken Berry, it absolutely blew my mind when he said these words. We were talking about testosterone and he said that there's a subset of people out there that think the government understands everything that Dr. Ken and I were speaking about in that podcast. And they actually like it when men have low testosterone because we tend to roll over and take it. We're apathetic. We think to ourselves, oh, we can do it tomorrow. Now's not a good time. Because, the big T, as I've spoken to before, I learned from a lot of, I'm no expert. I'm not, I'm just hungry for life. And, I reach out to these experts and find out what we've got to do as men to get our shit back together. And Dr. Andrew Huberman, you can find him here on YouTube, super smart dude. I mean, so amazing at the information he gives out. But he said that testosterone's major effect is to make effort feel good. Now think about rolling over and taking it. Effort in the gym, effort with your partner, effort with your kids, effort professionally, effort. Gary V, what does he say? Effort is everything. So certainly, these V8 hormones aren't the be-all to end-all, but guess what they do? They make everything a hell of a lot easier. And that's the damn point. We are hormone machines. Now, if you watched the previous video, you'd realize that if you've got any of these things going on up here, oxidative stress and cortisol out of control, if you lack workers, and I'll explain what they are shortly. If you've got any of the three classes of endocrine disruptors coursing through your veins, and you have unresolved inflammation because you've got a really bad omega-6 to 3 ratio, and don't concern yourself with this now. We're going to solve these problems. And if you've got low testosterone, see on screen there, those two round cylinders, that's the meat. Your meat and two veg, your manhood downstairs. Those two cylinders are what scientists call smooth muscle, right? And when they scale down 15%, erectile dysfunction, we're losing our manhood. Literally, it is shrinking, and I'm sick and tired of it. The government's okay with it, but I'm sure as shit not, and I hope you aren't either. Because if you feel like you're not there and you want that hunger to go at life, well, these hormones are going to help us do that in a very large way. So, as I spoke to in the previous video, the manhood's shrinking down, but there's only 3 things that we need to do to stop the scaling down, the loss we're losing as men. Think about your family. We want to go at life and create a life of freedom for our wife and our kids. That's everything to me. If you continually wake up and put it off, you're tired, you're scaling down, you're losing. I know that's a hard thing to take, but it is what's happening. Now, it's not just you, right? If you have a look on the screen there, these anti-androgenic chemicals. Now, what I'm circling around, there is widespread exposure to antiandrogens, a group of chemicals able to disrupt androgen life and fetal life with irreversible demasculinizing consequences. Holy shit, right? So our boys are being demasculinized. They're not even going to come out with a fighting chance to feel like men. And that's just terrible. I mean, we have to shout this. We're sick and tired of this bullshit that we're putting up with. And I'm trying to shout it from the rooftops. Now, if you watched in the other video, we can't hide from this shit. All we can do is limit the exposure coming into our bodies and extract these chemicals out as fast as we can. And you can do this. In subsequent videos, I'll explain exactly how we achieve that. Now, you know that the mitochondria do 3 super important things. 1, it produces your energy. Number 2, it produces your sex hormones, right? Number 3, it burns your body fat. It's the only place you can burn your body fat. Now, see this, what I'm circling around? Phthalate-induced testicular mitochondrial dysfunction. So this is scaling down the meat, the cylinders inside. So this is super important. You don't want to lose your manhood. You don't want to lose your masculinity. And as I spoke to on the previous video, when it gets to 15%, it's going to be tough to maintain that erection, right? And this plays into your mind. Testosterone is low and you don't think you can get it back. And then you go on TRT like I did. And as I learned, it's only a Band-Aid. So these hormones are like a band playing. And if we allow these 5, well, actually 6, because oxidative stress and cortisol are kind of different. But if we allow this to happen, our band members start to sing out of tune and some go missing. And we don't want that. I mean, shit. I mean, come on. We've got to fix this. And there's only 3 things we need to do. If you've grabbed my book, you'd know what that is. But these videos I'm putting on YouTube, I want to go deeper into what we need to do. The steps that we need to do as men to regain the size of the meat into veg. You can see I get very passionate about this because it's taking so much away from us. But it's not just you. It's affecting our children and future generations. My mentor, Dr. J, said that there's scientists extremely concerned about future generations and what's actually going to happen. So we need to really, stand up as men together, united, and fix this problem and lead by example about feeling good, taking life on. Because when you get to that place and your energy is just different and people notice that, they're going to say, what the hell happened? And then you can explain what happened. And they'll start to listen because they've seen you change. Change in you is going to change other people. Now, if you recall on the previous video, all we have to do is fix these red things here, the lack, the endocrine disruptors, and the foods. Now, what that will achieve. And I'm so blessed to be able to work and do this for a living. And the men that I'm helping are getting results very fast. A lot of them, they're not here, but the bulk of my men that come to me, they are in this grey zone here. And the government are really happy with them being in this fucking grey zone, and I'm not. Now, this grey zone, you're not going to feel it, right? Everything's going to be harder. Effort's harder. Staying lean is harder. Putting on the muscle is harder. You just don't have enough to go around. But very quickly, you can certainly get into this green zone. And some of my men that are happy there, and that's cool because everyone's got different androgen receptors. Now, Professor Zapolsky, I learned from the great man that we've got these androgen receptors, and some have got these polyglutamine repeats. Now, people with ridiculously good genetics have just got shorter repeats, less of them, so they're more potent. So some people in the green here can be cool with 550, 600, maybe 700, and they can do just as well as people with less potent repeats that are in the blue zone here. But here's what I tell my men. How do you feel? Does effort feel good? Have you got the energy? Do you not worry about what other people think? How do you feel? How do you show up? Because it doesn't matter if you're in the green or the blue. If you show up like that, you're good. Okay? So when you get to that place, life gets a lot easier. And the only way I can describe it is lion's blood. The thrill of the hunt. You just show up into this amazing world of ours, a completely different human life force. And when you get to that place, you become curious. And that curiosity helps you open books up. Listen to more podcasts because you've got the energy and you're excited. You want to move forward. You might be in a 9 to 5. You might want to exit that 9 to 5. Now, Gary Vee, Tony Robbins, they all speak to this. There's no better opportunity in human existence to do that. So, get excited for life. Get your androgens back up. Again, they're not the be all and end all. They just make it much easier. And the reason they make it much easier is because, back in the 40s, as I spoke to, that was average. And I'll explain why in this video. And the scientists are now saying a high androgen level, which is this, back in the 40s, which was average, inhibits adipose tissue deposits, right? Fat accumulate. This poor gentleman on the right, clearly he's got low testosterone. And it improves insulin resistance and glucose tolerance. Now, that just means you've got more energy. So not only does that V8 hormone give you more energy, but it makes it easier to stay lean and pack on the muscle. So what we've got to do as men is just realize that, as my mentor, Dr. J, said to me, and I'll never forget it, I was on the keto train for a long time, and that doesn't give you high androgens. Well, it didn't for me, and there's a good reason for that. And I'll speak to that. I'll show you when I'll speak to that so you know when we get to this place here. Number 3, foods. Exactly why that's the case. But as Dr. J said to me, if your testosterone gets to 500 and below, big problem. Better fix it, right? And the reason is very simple. You see, back in the late 80s, we were still at 550. So in the 1990s, as men, we were still relatively lean. But as it plummeted down to 350, look what happened. We're apathetic type, we're not motivated, we don't want to go out there because testosterone makes effort feel good. And it lowers body fat and it packs on the muscle. You're being denied, but just the meat and 2 veg are scaling down, they're atrophying. And when it goes to 15%, we're shit out of luck. Our women are going to be going, what happened? Don't you love me anymore? Don't you find me attractive anymore? That's what a lot of my men say. And sexual performance is something that I help my men with. And being a 50-year-old man, I sure as hell want to perform, especially for my gorgeous wife. Now, let's just get into the meat of this training. Now, just one more warning. We don't want to lose, right? The science is in. Penis, prostate, and testes, atrophying, scaling down. It's happening. So if you don't feel, like you can take life on, you don't have lion's blood. And that sucks, but you can fix this. And this is not your fault. This is not your fault, and you can fix this. The government don't seem to give a shit. They're okay with your low testosterone. Remember, Dr. Ken Berry said that there's a subset of the population that think that the government are okay. They actually like your low testosterone because you roll over and take it. Well, I'm fucked if I'm going to roll over and take it anymore. I want to shout this to the rooftops. I want men to know that they can get it back and go at it. And that's what, it's all about. Legacy, family is everything. Where are you going to be in 1 year if you don't get this right? We're going to be still scaling down. To hell with that. Now, you can fix this. The science is in. Look at this. Increased testicular weight, recycling testosterone receptors. It's in. Now, up here, the thyroid hormone puts more enzymes in the pathway that create testosterone. So think about it. You're in your car, you drive along, you got your V8 engine revved up, you want to make some more testosterone, you put your foot down on the gas, you've got more enzymes in there, so you're making more testosterone much faster, and that's a beautiful thing. So we've got to optimize for thyroid as well, but also growth hormone. Now, Dr. Rhonda Patrick, she is such a nice lady, and she's expert in the field, and has found that DHA, docosahexaenoic acid, the omega-3 that I'm always speaking about, we need balance in these omegas. It's in my book, How to Do It. Now, higher semen volumes, total sperm count, and larger testicular size. So we can get our boys, our meat and 2 veg back up. But here's the thing. Now, you've got to really take this on board. All right? If you've got lack, EDs, and foods, it's not going to happen. Sorry about that. That's one of my friends, Brian. So it's not going to happen. We have to fix these outer rims. And that's the whole damn point. Now, I want you to execute on a whole new level to get this right. Because when you come back online, the lion's blood, kind of feels good. Effort feels good. So we've really got to ensure that we're doing all these things because you can do it, right? Now, as you'll soon learn, the mitochondria are where you create your testosterone, your energy, and burn your body fat. And through mitochondrial biogenesis, you can create brand new, shiny mitochondria. Now think about that. More mitochondria, what's that going to mean for sex hormones? When your body puts its foot down to make those important hormones, you can. And couple that to having more, better thyroid support, you can just see how it's going to go up and up and up. But the unfortunate truth, how I mentioned back up here that our grandfathers had a natural, high testosterone for a man my age, 50. Let's have a look at one of the reasons as to why. Dr. James Antonio, PhD researcher, world-respected authority in nutrition. Now, he said that ever since, about the 1940s again, our soil has been depleted by big ag, spraying it with chemicals and shit, just depleted the soils of what I call workers. And as he says here, the alarming fact is that food no longer contains minerals and are starving us no matter how much of them we eat. No man today can eat enough vegetables to supply the minerals he requires because his stomach isn't large enough. So we have to supplement. Our grandfathers didn't. So that's another reason, right? Big ag is raping our beautiful and amazing world and depleting it of the things that make us men. So it's a big problem. And again, the meat and balls, they're scaling down, and low testosterone, cortisol overload, unresolved inflammation from that out of balance 6-3 ratio, lack of workers, as I've just said. So now what the next few videos are going to be all about is fixing this lack. I'm going to take you from lack to abundance. So you're going to have everything in your body that it needs to keep all the pathways turning 24/7. So we're starting to scale you back up. And to begin our journey about why we don't have the adequate levels that we need of these vitamins and minerals that I call workers in our body, let's just have a quick exploration of the mitochondria. Now, they are one of the most important things for sex hormones because without these mitochondria, you can't make a lot of sex hormones. They are the factories. Think about that. They are the factories that make your sex hormones. They produce most of your energy. So, when you're putting your foot down the gas, where your body is, to make energy, to make sex hormones, if it doesn't have a lot of factories, you can't make a lot. The same is true for burning your body fat. So when you make more mitochondria, which you can, and you take out the dysfunctional mitochondria, which there is inside you, then that's a long step in the right direction. But let me just expand this a bit larger for you. So this is inside the mitochondria. Now you can see this red shit, nasty crap. It's going to make your meat and two veg scale down if you don't look after it. So what do you need to take this shit and turn it into H2O? Because that's what it does. So this oxidative stress, your body takes something nasty, scales it down and turns it into water. That's just fucking incredible if you ask me. So you got two enzymes that do this. One of them's called SOD, superoxide dismutase, and it requires a micro mineral called manganese. So if you don't have a lot of manganese, you're going to get tired quicker. You could even get brain fog. And, this is what you experience. So when you put your foot down to do shit, it's just not quite there. Or when you try and do something, and if you don't have enough of these workers in your body, you're not going to be inclined or have the ambition or the motivation to do so. And superoxide dismutase, working alongside manganese, turns it into something else that's pretty nasty, hydrogen peroxide. Then glutathione comes along here and turns it into water. And glutathione needs a lot of workers, a hell of a lot of workers. It's a beast in and of itself. So you can see how it can all scale down. But as you know, and I've mentioned that you can scale it back up when you get this right. But we have to get rid of these three problems that are atrophying your manhood. Now, look at this here. You know how I mentioned glutathione? Well, just before we talk about that, to burn your body fat, you need this chauffeur. So when you know how to extract body fat into your bloodstream, it makes its way to the mitochondria in your muscle cells of your liver. But it's a really long chain, so it needs help getting into the mitochondria here, where it undergoes what scientists say is beta oxidation to burn your body fat. It needs this worker called carnitine. Now, if your body isn't working 24/7, you can't make a lot of carnitine, so your body makes it. But you can also get it from a big, juicy red steak, red meat, and you can also supplement it, but you don't need to supplement. You can get it from food, and your body can make it. So if you don't have a lot of workers, you're not going to be burning a lot of body fat. If you recall on the previous video, how when you create energy inside the cell, magnesium needs to come to it, bind to it. It releases a phosphate from the ATP. There you've got energy. So if you don't have a lot of magnesium, you're going to be storing body fat instead of burning body fat. So you can see how extraordinarily important it is to have adequate levels of what I call workers, vitamins and minerals in your body 24/7. Now back to glutathione here. Now all this garbage shit Western food, I'm going to speak to milk in a minute, it's going to blow your mind. It will shock and fucking piss you off because I love dairy, but I don't have it now. So this research paper here says that food-derived opioid peptides inhibit cysteine uptake, which is needed for glutathione. So the master antioxidant that is needed in your mitochondria to turn that nasty shit hydrogen peroxide into water is scaled down when you eat a Western diet. So even if you've got a lot of workers, vitamins and minerals in your body, this nasty food makes your glutathione less powerful. So you got a fucking 4-cylinder glutathione antioxidant system instead of a V8. So that's not cool. And here's the data on milk. Yep, after 1 glass of cow milk, or any kind of dairy for that matter, significant rises in estrogen and significantly decreases testosterone within 1 hour, 1 glass of milk. So the scientists concluded that it's kind of shit. The present data on men and children indicate that estrogens in milk were absorbed. The gonadotropin releasing hormone secretion was suppressed, so that means when that happens, you're not making any testosterone. Just let that sink in, right? So you have a glass of milk, no more testosterone for you. Well, for a little while, okay? But it decreases testosterone, right? It's decreasing testosterone significantly. So it's really terrible stuff, unfortunately. All dairy has got over 60 fucking hormones in it. It is nasty shit. Now, the government certainly could subsidize the dairy industry to clean up their milk, but if they don't, no one company is going to step up and do it because there's going to be more cost. More cost means less profit. But I believe if this information got out there and one company did it, that one company would be a game changer. I mean, everyone would say, I have to buy this clean milk that I enjoy instead of this garbage that the government says is okay. Think about it. You've got estrogen in there. It's illegal to inject yourself with estrogen, right? You've got to get a prescription. But the government says, no, that's cool. No, you can drink it instead, right? And it's absorbed into your body and it's demasculinizing you. It's wasting your testosterone and it's stopping you from making testosterone for hours and hours and hours after that. Not good. Now, you can clearly see that we've got a big problem with the food supply. There's these things called AGEs in your food supply, advanced glycation end products. So not only are the foods that the government recommending devoid of vitamins and minerals. They fortify them with synthetic vitamins, and they are terrible for your manhood, okay, and for your brain, and that's going to be covered on the next video. But it's full of this crap, AGEs and ALEs, advanced lip oxidation end products, so damaged fats. And these damaged fats are incorporated into your cells, and they act like Trojan horses on your manhood. Again, they cause oxidative stress. In fact, 50 times more free radicals by eating this shit. Now, if you recall the conversation we just had about mitochondria, 50 times more free radicals are being put into your body by eating this shit. I mean, it's pretty nasty stuff. It causes atherosclerosis. The government, now I'll show you another slide in a second, but it also causes arthritis. I had 5 shoulder surgeries. I had asthma. It causes asthma and pulmonary disorders. It's a known endocrine disruptor, and the government says, no, that's cool, right? It's full of hormones. It's full of AGEs. No, that's cool. And it's not cool. I mean, we need to tell people about this. And 50 times more free radicals. Dr. Ken and I spoke about this. He said that if people eat this garbage, it's the slave diet. Because, while it keeps you alive, but only barely, it's aging you faster. How is it aging you faster? Well, AGEs cause every cell in your body to age faster, including your skin. So you're going to look faster. You're going to age faster and look older faster, but it also shortens your telomeres. Now, what's your telomeres? Well, when it shortens your telomeres, you age faster again. And that's a terrible thing. So it's a double whammy as far as looking older. You're going to look so much older, so much faster. When you're 50, you're going to look fucking 50. And I'm 50. So, you don't have to put up with this bullshit. Now, again, this is super serious for your children. It's super serious for your manhood. And Dr. James Di Nicolantonio said, the more you understand how badly our health authorities mess things up, the angrier you get. So we need to let people know that this shit is happening and that there's world-respected authorities trying to get the message out there. But you can see the problem. Big Ag, Big Food, they've got their foot in the economic door. They're making billions and billions of dollars from your suffering, from you losing your manhood. And I'm sick and fucking tired of it. And I hope you are too, because to hell with that. I mean, come on, we've got to be there for our family. And the only way we can do that is to have our hormones. The way I like to think about hormones is that they're a band playing. And your band's either going to be kicking ass and you're going to be feeling good. You're going to be like, yeah, let's do this. Or you're going to have band members missing. Sometimes they won't even turn up. Sometimes they're playing out of tune. To hell with that. You can get this back. What we need to do is step up as men, become united, and keep spreading the word. So that's kind of garbage. I've got, in the next video, we're going to talk about synthetic vitamins and what foods you potentially should be eating. This one on the left is a complete file. It's just completely devoid of energy. So it's got no magnesium. You'll be turning into this gentleman here on the left, storing fat, even though you've got food coming into the system. This one on the right here isn't great. It's a B grade food. What I want you to select for is A grade androgenic food. So there's lots of foods that will increase testosterone and there's lots of foods that will decrease testosterone. And we just explored one. And it's called dairy, unfortunately. But, this food is shit because it powers down your body's ability to make glutathione. So you've got a 4-cylinder beat-up engine called glutathione trying to take care of the oxidative stress in your mitochondria, and your meat and 2 veg are scaling down. So if you're sick and tired of this, comment below, let me know your thoughts, and it's time to get our masculinity back. And, as far as I'm concerned, it's about 3 things. Increasing your energy, this kind of energy I can take life on. Your earning potential, because you can exit your 9 to 5 when you've got that kind of energy. And as Tony Robbins and Gary Vee speak to, you can do this. And it's time to stop this scaling down, this atrophy of our manhood, and get our masculinity back. And just quietly, when my subscriptions on YouTube reach 2,000, I'm going to come on live every single week where you can ask me questions. And just before I talk more about that, I'm no expert. I'm just hungry for life. So I reach out to the people that know about this. So I stand on the shoulders of geniuses because I want to wake up in 10 years and be completely free, financially free. I want to have my testosterone. I want to have a lean, muscular body. I want to have all these things, and it's our right to have these things. So to hell with what the government teaches, because it's making us sick, infertile, fat, lazy, and tired, and I'm sick and tired of that bullshit. I want to increase my energy, I want to increase my earning potential, and I want to increase my damn masculinity. My name is Mark Iron, and I'm hungry for life, and I want you to feel what that feels like, and you can. And the first thing we need to do is fix those 3 things. So, there it is. The power is in your hands.